Hey, it's Ryan from upfitsupply.com, and in this video we're going to be installing a Vantech H1 ladder rack on our Ford Transit cargo van. Let's get started. All right, Vantech does provide you a fully illustrated parts list and installation guide in the box. Make sure you grab yours and reference it for the ultimate source of information. Of course, we're doing our best to follow this as well. So I've got everything unboxed now in front of me. I just want to do a little bit of bench prep before we get on top of the van. A couple of things to note. Number one, we are using a 3-bar kit and it is steel. It's going to be basically the same installation for a 2-bar and an aluminum system. Obviously, installation is going to be the same between the black and the white version as well. The biggest difference between the aluminum and the steel is going to be in these crossbars. In the aluminum crossbars, there's going to be 2 channels built into the crossbar, one on top of the crossbar and one kind of on the side of the crossbar. And the biggest difference in terms of assembly and installation is going to be with applying your rubber bar guard. So in the steel version like we have, it's going to be these rubber bar guard strips like this. It's got a sticker on the back, you peel it away, it's got adhesive. Just gonna apply it right on top of these crossbars. For those aluminum kits, it's gonna be a little rubber bar guard. It's gonna have like a little clip on it almost that you're just gonna slide into that channel on top of the crossbar. So that's gonna be basically the only difference between the installation of the aluminum and the steel. So let's go ahead and get started by taking these strips. We just want to place these so that they're centered on top of the crossbars. Now, another good idea before you get started with applying these stickers is just to wipe off any dust or anything that may be on top of these. You want to make sure you have a good sticking surface so that these stay on these bars as long as possible. That just about does it for all the bench prep we need to do. Let's go ahead and get on top of our van. Now, the full-size Ford Transit actually has 4 mounting locations on the roof. 1 up here, 2, 3, and 4. So depending on if you're doing the 2-bar kit or the 3-bar kit, you may choose different mounting locations. Each are gonna be pre-threaded, each are gonna attach the same way. It's just a matter of preference. Now, because we are doing that 3-bar kit, we're gonna go into 3 of these and leave 1 of them closed. And for me, these 2 at the rear seem to make the most sense to just choose one or the other because they're so close together. And I think for maximum distance between our 3rd bar and our 1st bar, I want to go with the furthest back and the furthest forward. Now, just one thing to double check is typically you go with a 3-bar kit because you want to accommodate those 6-foot step ladders. So if we measure between number 4 and number 2, this is about 5 feet. So that's going to accommodate most 6-foot step ladders. Then of course everything else will go between bars 1 and 3 and work out just fine. Now these are just kind of a rubberized, flexible cap right here over our mounting location. You're going to want to use like a plastic tool or something that's not going to scratch up the top of the van. Then right down in here there is a pre-threaded location. It's not in this top part of the sheet metal, it's actually down below. Pre-threaded location that your included bolt is going to thread into. We'll go ahead and just test out our bolt, make sure everything fits nicely. If you happen to have a leak in there and it needs to be tapped and cleaned out, that may be something that you need to do. Now, what I like to do on these H1 racks is actually put one set of uprights on one side of the van, and then on the other side, we put in the crossbar and the other upright at the same time. Just makes it a little bit easier rather than trying to assemble it all on the ground and then bring up the full crossbar assembly. This is our bolting pattern right here. We have our bolt, we have a lock washer, we have a regular washer, and then we have this foam washer. And this is going to go through this middle hole on the upright. And it's going to go through our spacer here. You want to make sure that you do have this little rubber gasket in there that's going to keep water from getting inside this location. Put this in here. You can tell that this does have a little bit of an angle. Usually you want this facing towards the van because the roof slopes down towards the side, so this just kind of evens it out so that your upright's at a nice 90-degree angle. And then we'll try and find our threading location and just get this hand tight for now. Now these rear locations, the bolts can almost seem a little bit too short. You just want to push down on this, compress this little O-ring a little bit, as well as that foam spacer and your lock washer, and that'll let you get those threads in there. You get a couple of spins using a ratchet or something like that with a 1/2 inch socket on it. And same thing up here at locations number 2 and 1. And of course, same thing with removing these covers on our mounting locations on this side. Now on our rear crossbar, or whichever one makes sense for your particular need, is we're gonna take our hook and loop strap. You can see it kind of comes packaged like this. We're just gonna open this with the red part facing rearward. There's a little ring hole right here. Put our crossbar through here. Do that on both. Get the slid in over here. Kind of in one motion, slide this to the other side, and then we'll try and get our bolt threaded. Getting a few threads in there and leaving it loose for now. Next, we're going to make sure all of our uprights are at a 90-degree angle, nice and square. We also want to make sure that our little spacers, the gaskets that are below those, are completely covering those openings from the mounting location. And we're gonna go ahead and tighten these all down nice and good. Next, we're gonna secure the crossbar to the upright with 2 of these self-threading screws per upright. I like to do them in the back. It doesn't really matter where you do them. Now, how you want to mount your accessories is really up to you and how you're going to use your ladder. For us, we're going to put our longer extension ladder over here on the right side or the passenger side, and then our step ladder over on the driver's side. And so for us, we're going to put our guide on our middle bar for our extension ladder, and then our stopper up here on our front bar. And then it's just a carriage bolt through and your hand knob. Tighten it up. We'll leave this loose for now. We can position this with a test ladder later. Same thing up here for the ladder stopper. Then for the side with our step ladder, we'll do our stopper on number 2. Then we'll do our guide here on the rear bar. And that just about does it for the installation of this Vantech H1 ladder rack on our Ford Transit van. Now, if you're looking for this ladder rack or any other equipment to get your van or truck ready for work, we've got what you need at upfitsupply.com. My name is Ryan. Have a good one.